Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. So this is the translation of that message. The message reads like this. Hello, my brother. How are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a woman who is aged 38 years old. So I came here in South Africa. This was in the year 2013. That was when I came to South Africa. So after I had came here to South Africa, I started staying with one of my cousin's sister, but we are not related by blood. We just share the same totem and the same surname. So she took me in as if I was her own little sister. So whilst I was staying with her, that was when her husband kept on telling me that he was in love with me. He wanted to make me his second wife, and I could not betray this woman who was taking care of me. So what I did was that I pretended as if I had fallen in love with her husband. So the man, he then gave me 2,000 rands. After he had given me 2,000 rands, that was when I ran away from her place, and I then spoke with one of my friends who I used to go to at the same secondary school. I had met her on Facebook. I told her that I needed a room to stay. She then told me that at least in that location where she was staying, since this location, it was really close to the farms, it was going to be easy for me to get a job. So I ended up coming to that location, and I started to stay with my best friend. So the next morning, it was a Monday morning, we then went to that farm. And the problem that I started to face was that the foreman, he said that he wanted to make love to me. So I refused, and he told me to go and sit down and to stop working. So I didn't understand why he was doing these things. So the boss, the white farmer, when he found out that I was sitting down, he came and he spoke with me in Afrikaans, which I could not even understand. And then when he said that, so when he spoke to me in Afrikaans, I could not understand anything. He started shouting at me, and he told me that I was fired. So he gave me only 40 rand, since I had only worked from morning until somewhere around 11 a.m. Still, I could not understand that the rule at that farm, for you to keep on working at that farm, you have to sleep with that foreman. So that is how I got fired. When I got fired, I was really stuck. What we'll do usually is that we would go to these fields after they would have harvested the potatoes and the beans as well as the butternuts. We would go there. It was allowed by that farmer. Then we will go there. Then we'll start to pick up the potatoes that would have been left behind. Then we'll sell them off to those people that will sell these items in town. So whilst we were doing that, that was when I met this other guy. We exchanged our phone numbers, and I returned back to the location. So the only problem was that this guy, even though he was working at this other nearby farm, but this guy, he was too young for me. So the only plan that I could do was to lie to him. I lied to him that I was much younger than him, yet I was 5 years older than him. All that I wanted was a place to stay, because this was about 3 months that I had been in this location, not being able to find a job, and at the same time I was unable to pay my own rentals. As for my friend, she used to bring in her own boyfriends, so she told me that I needed to find my own place. So I was thankful for the fact that she was the one who had rescued me from my cousin sister's husband. So here I was in this location. I needed to start to make a plan for myself, and then I started to speak with this guy, and I then told him that I was really desperate in love with him, but it was just a lie. I just wanted a place to stay. So this guy, he then invited me one day at the farm where he was working as well as where he was staying. When I went there, he wanted to make love to me. I pretended as if I was not happy about it. But the moment that we got into bed, I allowed him to make love to me, and we did not use any kind of protection. I did this because I wanted to tell him after that that I had fallen pregnant for him. I returned back to the location. So after about 2 weeks, that was when I told them that I thought that I was pregnant. The guy was really excited, and immediately he told me that after work he was going to come and collect me. I refused, but deep down in my heart I was happy. Later on, after he had knocked off somewhere around 6 p.m., that was when I saw him. It was him and this other guy. He had actually hired a car so that he can come and pick up some of the small items that I had bought that I was using in that room that I was renting. So he picked me up and off we went to the location. Since this guy, I stayed with him not because I loved him, but out of desperation. I was not in love with him. I was embarrassed by him because he was a little bit thinner, and I was someone who was considered to be very beautiful, light-skinned and stuff like that. So each and every time that I will be walking with him in town, I will pretend as if I am walking behind him, so that each and every time when I'll be walking with him, what I'll do is that I would walk slightly behind him, because I didn't want people to see that me and him, we were like husband and wife. In the meantime, there were guys from that area who were proposing love to me. So I used to refuse until I finally started to date this other man. I dated him because he had a car. So each and every time when I would have bought some groceries, then I'll speak with that guy and we would drive together going all the way to Musina, and he would not make me to pay since I was sleeping with him. So what I was doing was that this guy, when he would get his money, because he used to get his money after each and every fortnight, but at the place where I was now working, we would only get our money month end. So this guy, each and every time when he would bring his money, because he considered me to be his wife, he would give me that money. Then I'll just use that money to buy some groceries and stuff in the house, and to make sure that all of the money will get finished so quickly. And when it will be month end, I'll bring my salary back home and I'll hide it somewhere else, because I didn't want to plan with him. I was actually using him because I had a place to stay. I had someone who was buying food for me. All that I had to give him back was to sleep with him. So with time, my brother, he caught me cheating. He saw that in my phone there were these other pictures that I had taken with this boyfriend of mine, and I denied it and I lied to him that these were like your fake pictures, and he believed me. Somehow he believed me. Then in the end, his relatives were the ones that broke us apart, but he still loved me. After I had been chased by his sister, I moved out of that area. That was when I came to the location where I am currently staying. The day that I saw him, my brother, I had just woken up. It was somewhere around 9 a.m. That was when I saw him. I woke up because I had been called by this other customer of mine. Since in this location, what I do is that I am known that I sell vegetables. So a lot of people, they come and then they buy vegetables for me. It doesn't matter if it is South African or people from Zim. So I was called and I woke up because the guy who used to come to buy these vegetables told me that he had his own friend who was going to come and buy these vegetables of mine as well. When I woke up, I then went and I waited for him by the gate, and I saw this very beautiful car. And when that car parked by the front gate at the place where I stay, when the guy came out, I was really shocked, for there he was, my ex-boyfriend, and the way that he was all dressed up, one could tell that this man is now chopping money. But what hurt me was that he had his young wife and they had their son, and this really broke my heart. The guy just looked at me and he greeted me. I'm sure that he did not want to show his wife that me and him, we once stayed together as husband and wife. But what I am thinking about right now is I want to bewitch him. The reason as to why I want to bewitch him, it is because I want him back. I honestly want him back, my brother. And I have already organized with this other traditional healer who is going to give me some herbs. It is either I die or he dies. That woman, she is too young to enjoy the money that this guy seems to have. I just want him back, because at that time when he came to buy these vegetables with his wife, I had this other guy that I had slept with throughout the night. You know for how much, my brother? This guy, he had given me 150 rands, and he said that he wants to sleep with me. So when this drunkard came out of my small mukuku, I saw that my ex-boyfriend, he looked at me funny, in a funny way, and I felt embarrassed because I used to tell him that I was of a much higher class than he was when we were still at the farms. So I just want him back. That is my own confession. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear sister. Strange things do happen in this world. Yo, she's saying that she just wants him back because he seems to be enjoying life.